Hello everyone, welcome back to Fight Tonight channel. Manager insists Shakur Stevenson is a bigger fight for Gervonta Davis. These are two fights that Shakur Stevenson wants, but he does not feel he is close to any of them. On the wish list of the WBC lightweight champion are WBA ruler Gervonta Davis. Gifted southpaw Stevenson, 26, meets Artyom Kharatunian in the last fight of his existing deal with promoter Top Rank on July 7th at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. Stevenson's sole manager Josh Dobbin has defended Stevenson's position as a significant draw in boxing, having taken exception to a recent interview given by promoter Bob Arum. If a fighter does not bring to the table eyeballs, people who will pay to see the match, then it's really tough to make a big match for them, Arum said. That, in my opinion, and I manage Shakur with James Prince. That is a totally nonsensical reason why they are not pushing to get Shakur this fight, said Dobbin. Shakur has been consistently one of the highest rated fighters on their roster anytime he fights on ESPN. The only time he did not pull one of the higher ratings is when they had he fight on a Tuesday night and tried to convince us because of the Formula 1 race that was going to be the biggest event in the world. Shakur did not even want to do it. He said they are not going to be able to fill the arena. People can draw their own conclusions. I think it's pretty obvious. In my opinion, they don't want to give him a big fight because their contract is running out, but they have the power to say, look, Shakur is a bigger fight, and he is a bigger fight, in our opinion, because they are two undefeated guys in their prime. They are putting a 36-year-old out there against him. Shakur wants the biggest fights, and I understand they can't force people to fight him, but to give the explanation that they are not trying to negotiate a Gervonta Davis fight because Shakur isn't the draw is just nonsense. Then the guy who just beat Emmanuel Navarrete, he is making videos calling him out. Shakur just sits here and has to take it. They have the ability to make the fight happen. Stevenson is one of the most gifted boxers in the sport and boasts a record of 21-0, 10 KOs. His last fight was a duel decision win over Edwin de los Santos back in November, and he has also won titles at featherweight and junior lightweight. I think it's pretty obvious why they are not, Dobbin said, of trying to land the Davis fight for Stevenson. What's incentive is there for him to want to keep fighting for them? They are not fighting for him right now. Arum's not saying anything bad, but I'm saying it's just a lame reason, a lame excuse as to why they would not pursue a Gervonta Davis fight. Shakur wants fight Gervonta. Just look at not only the TV ratings, but he has broken the ticket sales record for events at the United Center in New York. He sold 10,000 seats there several times. His fight with Oscar Valdez sold around 10,000 tickets, and maybe more in Vegas. In my opinion, it's an excuse. He consistently sells 10,000 tickets in New York. He is a huge draw in New York. He is a huge draw in Vegas. We know that. These aren't things we are giving our opinion on. Tim Bradley says Gervonta Davis is copping out of one fight. He don't want a nightmare. Gervonta Davis reminded fans and rivals of just how explosive he can be when he stopped Frank Martin in 8th round this month. It marked a return from a 14-month layoff for the Baltimore boxer, having previously defeated Ryan Garcia in 2023 but forced to stay out of the ring due to legal issues thereafter. Now WBA lightweight world champion, his run got off to a good start by knocking out previously undefeated Frank Martin in devastating fashion. There are unifications on the table for Davis, particularly one against recently crowned IBF champion. It's one of the fights Hall of Famer Tim Bradley wants to see, the other being against WBC champ Shakur Stevenson. Bradley told that he was not surprised that Gervonta expressed no interest in the Stevenson fight, saying it was a call-out because of how tough it would be. That's a call-out. Let's keep it back. That's a cop-out. Of course, he gonna say that because he don't wanna have to chase that nightmare around. Shakur is gonna be there, then not gonna be there. That's Shakur. He is gonna come in and out. Shakur fights in strength lines. His feet are so damn good. He controls distance so damn well. Tank got short, little bitty arms. It's gonna be hard to reach him. You're gonna have to land on that moving target. Shakur is a brilliant all that man. I don't think Shakur is gonna stand and trade with him at all. It will be 1-2 shots and get the hell out. Call it a boring fight. Call it whatever you want. I'ma tell you right now, I got Shakur winning this fight, Timothy Bradley said. Last year, the Gervonta Davis Ryan Garcia fight with roughly 1.2 million pay-per-view buys made it across the 9-figure mark in revenues. According to available sources, the match netted an amount in the net worth of 102 million. After a year-long break, Davis returned for a title defense. He faced unbeaten Frank Martin. Now fans and critics are well aware that Gervonta is one of the biggest draws in boxing. But what about the girls? Does he match the star power of Garcia? After all, it takes two to tango. Gervonta and King Rai joined hands to create a blockbuster money spinner. So were Gervonta and the Ghost able to create similar magic? Reportedly, it takes about 10 days or more by the time dust settles on the kind of pay-per-view business a fight would have done. However, speculations are rife over the pay-per-view earnings of the June 15th match at the MGM Grand Arena. New York State Boxing Hall of Fame inductee and veteran matchmaker Rick Glazer shared a number early this week. Amidst doubts and suspicions, many would find it somewhat discouraging. Now a former television producer has shared a fresh update on the Davis Martin pay-per-view business. Going by what he said, fans might be in for a surprise. It wasn't too far off Glazer's numbers. One on Gervonta Davis pay-per-view buys, wrote former television producer J. I. Goodman. He further elaborated on having some preliminary television viewership numbers. However, it would probably take a week before he could present a more accurate and clear picture. There were reports going around of under 200k. Based on what I've gotten, that's probably within the range, said Goodman. But the interesting part was the comparison he managed between the Davis Martin fight and All Elite Wrestling's 2024 Double or Nothing. The pay-per-view pro wrestling event on May 26 took place at the same venue where the boxing match occurred, MGM Grand Arena. It was well about Double or Nothing, he said. However, he further added that the boxing match's business would have been somewhere near or maybe even better than this other big show, one of its big four pay-per-views, Revolution did. I would say 150 to 220k will be the range, said Goodman. Thanks for watching guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.